Batman! Hello everyone and welcome back to the Blackfoot Book Club and another volume of my essential film reviews collection. Welcome back everyone. Thanks so much for being there. You ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight? With Danny Elfman's iconic theme in the background and the Batman motif slowly being unveiled, we cut to a wide shot of Gotham City and its cartoon-like feel and the hustle and bustle of a busy city below, and we're immediately in a Tim Burton film and Burton's very individual take on Batman. 23 years on, the effects may look a little dated compared to today's standards. Even the repertoire of toys so synonymous with Batman are a little dated too, but it remains a benchmark for others to follow and a triumph for the director. On its release 23 years ago, I love this film for its closeness and homage in many ways to the TV series, for Michael Keaton as a superb and underrated Batman, for Tim Burton bringing Gotham City to life so brilliantly, and of course, for Jack Nicholson. His portrayal of the Joker still resonates all these years later. It's sublime, pitch perfect, and as the character unravels, Nicholson balances the fine line between psychopathy and madness excellently. As you may have read in my other film articles, Christopher Nolan's reboot of the franchise and his very own individual take on Batman with his trilogy is a favourite with me and with fanboys. I considered doing a retrospective take on both Jokers, both Nicholson and Heath Ledger. However, I've covered Ledger's incredible performance on my other Christopher Nolan article, so I've decided instead to focus on this original film's three key players: Batman, Michael Keaton; the Joker, Jack Nicholson; and the director himself, Tim Burton. But first, a very short premise. After being disfigured in a chemical accident, Jack Napier returns as the Joker and quickly rises to become a homicidal, psychopathic underworld crime boss. Gotham City is in peril, and the call is made to the Dark Knight and Batman to save the city from his evil clutches. As described above, the very first scene of a dark and gothic Gotham City is Tim Burton at his very best. Richly stylised backdrops and sets bring Gotham City to life. However, on rewatching this film, it is perhaps the director's greatest feat here to take a more hands-off approach in terms of constant stylisation and allowing both the story and the characters themselves room to breathe and develop. The story is particularly well told, backed by Danny Elfman's iconic and triumphant musical score and matched by a cast of actors playing iconic roles superbly. The nods and flourishes in the first two acts are subtle and tasteful, pushing the story to its climactic third act. The red roses placed at the scene of his parents' death could have been played far more heavily and with more exposition, but a short flashback later more than suffices. The shootout on the Gotham City Hall steps gives a nod and indication to all, especially Vicky Vale, Kim Basinger, that Bruce Wayne may not be only the businessman he appears to be. But it's the end of that short scene where the director shines, bringing Bruce and the Joker together, the Joker waving as he departs in the car, Bruce's bemusement and frustration aptly shown in the car's reflection. Smaller nods to the TV show, the red fire exhaust of the Batmobile, and a nod to the comic book Batman and his mastery of Kung Fu are added. But whereas this is fully explored in Nolan's trilogy, there is just a fleeting glimpse of that here. The director's influence is more evident as we approach the end of Act 2 and throughout the final act. The exhilarating drive back to the Batcave, winding through typical Burton-esque avenues of dark, overhanging trees to the Batcave itself, is pure Tim Burton, as is the final act and the Joker's benevolent city parade and party. backed by original songs from Prince throughout, and here especially. This adds to the majesty and the surreal nature of the climactic finale, and the inevitable final showdown between Batman and the Joker. Sublime and surreal, in equal measure. Batman, Michael Keaton, remains underrated as the caped crusader, and perhaps even more so now that Christian Bale excelled so brilliantly in the Christopher Nolan trilogy. However, Keaton excels here too, infusing Bruce Wayne with a deliberate geek sensibility and a slightly bumbling and unsure of himself fool-type role, perfectly designed of course to show the duality of all comic book heroes. Once they don their suit, they adopt a style and self-assurance and invincibility of superheroes. The difference between the two personas is stark and very well played. A convincing Batman, the fight scenes are well choreographed and exciting for the audience. The dramatic entrances show Keaton in a very good light, as do his frequent appearances as his alter ego, Bruce Wayne. Throughout the film, it's interesting to note that Bruce Wayne or Batman often only interact with one other character. Duel scenes with Vicky Vale and his butler Alfred, Michael Goff, and as Batman with Vale again, and of course the Joker. All duel scenes propel the story well, and perhaps being the example that proves the rule, Keaton really shows his mettle in a short scene with a further character, Alexander Knox, and Vicky Vale, the two reporters snooping around his trophy room, unaware of Keaton as Bruce Wayne, slowly approaching behind them. A very short but very telling scene. The Joker, Jack Nicholson. Once again in a Batman film, the Joker steals the limelight. As with Heath Ledger in Nolan's The Dark Knight, Jack Nicholson steals every scene he is in, punctuates every scene he's in with jokes and gags, and literally bursts forth onto the screen. An immense performance from Nicholson, who for 35 minutes of the film is his alter ego, Jack Napier. However, no concentration necessary there, as it's the Joker who dominates and steals the film. With his maniacal laugh and attire, a direct nod to the TV series, Nicholson is sublime, delivering the trademark Joker punchlines brilliantly from, "Oh, I've got a live one here," as he electrocutes a rival to death. "Never rub another man's rhubarb," after he believes he's murdered Bruce Wayne, to my personal favourite, "He stole my balloons," during the climactic scene. There are many, many more, all delivered brilliantly by Nicholson, and equally many more touches and subtle gags that round off the character and assure both the character and Nicholson an Actors Hall of Fame position. Noted by the director himself as a film about a duel of the freaks, a large cast of supporting roles include Billy D. Williams as Harvey Dent, Pat Hingle as Commissioner Gordon, Jerry Hall as Alicia Hunt, and Jack Palance as Carl Grissom, as the star standouts not previously referenced, and with two concurrent soundtracks from Danny Elfman and Prince, complementing Tim Burton's surreal vision and direction. This 24-year-old film remains a joy to watch time and time again. Director of photography Roger Pratt deserves great credit, as does Anton Furst's production design, as they both bring a cartoon-like Gotham City to life brilliantly. Anton Furst, along with Peter Young, deservedly won an Oscar in 1990 for their art direction and set decoration achievements. And that was Tim Burton's Batman, and a film I couldn't possibly highly recommend enough to you. And just earlier this evening, I was larking around with my son, and we were watching little snippets on YouTube of Jack Nicholson's performance. "He stole my balloons!" What a performance, blimey. I hope the world is spinning and turning in your favour, in your corner of the world. And I leave you as always do, in peace. and in solidarity. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you again soon. Thanks everyone. Peace.